Hi and welcome to another Photoshop tutorial. This is Steve, and in this video we're going to talk about 7 ways to zoom in Photoshop. So I'm going to show you keyboard shortcuts and mouse click shortcuts and things like that. So to dive into an example, let's just go look at this image here. And just so you know, number 7 is my favorite, but we're going to save the best for last. And all of these are good. Some of them are just better than others or better for different situations. So let's start with number 1. The shortcut is Control and the space bar. So you hold Control and the space bar, and you'll see my tool turns into the zoom tool. And then I can just click and it will zoom. And if I release it, it'll go back to whatever tool I have. So in this case, it's the text tool. So that's Control space and left click the mouse. And you can zoom out by hitting Control Alt space and click again. That'll zoom you back out. Okay, so Control space to zoom in, Control Alt space to zoom out. Okay, that's the number 1. Number 2. This is actually one of my favorites because it's just so quick and easy. It's Control, Command on a Mac, Control on a PC, and the plus and minus keys on your keyboard. And if you have a number pad, this is really nice. So you just go Control plus 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 to zoom, minus 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 to zoom out. Really quick and easy if you have your hands already on the keyboard. Okay, number 3, you can hit the F key. This isn't technically a zoom, but it still kind of has the same effect. So if I hit F, it's going to go to full screen. And then if I hit F again, it's going to go all the way to full screen and get rid of all of my tools. And then F and F. And this is better. Let's use the Control plus to zoom in, and you'll be able to see it better now. So if I start back on my normal screen, I've got, especially if I have these tools opened up, then they're blocking part of the image. So you hit F, that gets rid of a little bit of tools. You hit F again, it gets rid of everything, and then you can see more of your image. And that just puts you to full screen mode. That's what the F stands for. So hit F one more time to go back to regular, and that's number 3. Number 4 is the actual zoom tool, which is right here on your toolbar, and it's also the shortcut Z. So if I'm out here with my tool, I hit the letter Z on my keyboard, it changes to the zoom tool, and I click to zoom. Whatever you click over is where you're going to zoom. So if I want to look at these handlebars, then I'm going to click on those to zoom into the handlebars. Same thing, you hit Alt to zoom out. And again, if I focus over here, then it's going to focus on there. Same with your Mac, you hit Option and click to zoom out, or just click to zoom in. And again, if I want to see those handlebars, I just hover over them and zoom right in. Okay, so that's the Z key on your keyboard, or you can just click on the zoom tool and then left click to zoom in, Alt or Option, and the left click to zoom out. And there are a couple of other nuances that you can use along with the zoom tool. One is that you can double click on it and it's going to zoom to 100%. And then 2 is that you have some options up here in the option bar. You can click on Fill Screen, which is going to literally fill your screen with your image. You can say Fit to Screen, which both do almost the same thing. And then the really kind of cool one, which some people either love or hate, is Scrubby Zoom. And you can see I've got the check mark checked here. And the way you use Scrubby Zoom is you have your zoom tool on, you've got that checked, and you just left click in. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back. What I just did was clicked and held the mouse, and it kind of cruises in. You can do the same with your Alt key. You can click and hold, and it'll just kind of cruise. But what I was trying to show you was Scrubby Zoom, where you click and drag to the right, and you'll zoom in. If you drag to the left, you'll zoom out. And the same thing works where if you focus on one area, like I want this pole, then you can just hover over that while you do it. But like I say, some people love Scrubby Zoom, some people hate it. But the technique is left click your mouse and push to the right with your mouse, or your stylus and to zoom in. And then when you're done, you want to zoom out, you left click and drag to the left, and that will zoom you out like that. And then it'll snap to the center, which is also nice. Okay, so that's Scrubby Zoom. And while we're still on the Zoom tool, we'll turn the Scrubby Zoom off, and then you have a feature where you can select an area that you want to zoom to. So let's say that I just want to look at this tire right here. I click and drag, and you'll notice it does those marching ants. It basically is selecting the area, and then when I release, it zooms to that area. Okay, I can go back to full screen, and if I just want to look at the handlebars, same thing. I click and drag over that area, and boom, it zooms right to that area. Okay, so that's with your Scrubby Zoom turned off. Again, Scrubby Zoom turned on, you can click and drag left or right to zoom in and out. And again, remember with most of these, wherever you're holding your cursor or your zoom tool, that's where you're going to zoom. Okay, I think one of the least efficient ways to zoom, but I'll show you anyway, is to go to the Windows tab and go to the Navigator panel. And if you have this up, and you click and drag there. I guess if you have this up already, it's not the worst thing ever. But that's the Navigator panel. Let's get rid of that. Number 6. This one's actually kind of nice in a lot of ways because it's a kind of a quick zoom. So what you do is you hold the H key and then you left click your mouse, and it's going to temporarily go to full screen. But then the nice thing is when you release your mouse, it's going to pop back. Now one thing to note is that if you are zoomed way in and also off-centered, I'm going to push the space bar and use the hand key to drag us way over to the side. Let's go to the top left corner of this image, and we're zoomed in. Okay, so I'm up here in the upper left hand corner, and then I hold the H key and I left click, and that zooms me to full screen. And then it's going to show me where a box that is the size of my previous zoom, and wherever I leave that, that's where it's going to zoom again. So if I wanted to then zoom back down to this tire, then I just hold the box over that, release, and it zooms to that tire. Same thing, I hold H and click and hold with the mouse. If I want to zoom into their heads, then I move it over there and release, and it zooms back over there. Okay, so that's kind of a funky one, but it's nice to just get a real quick full-size view like that. And then finally, and this is my favorite, and it's mostly because of habit, but I often have my hand on the mouse, and so this is just really convenient. And this works really great if you're on a different tool. It doesn't matter what tool you're on. Say I'm on the brush tool, which you'll be on a lot, or the move tool, that's a better one. And you just want to zoom out quickly. On a PC, you just hold down the Alt key and you scroll with the mouse. And it's nice because if I want to zoom in right to this hub, I can just hold my cursor over that hub and I zoom right in. So it's just like basically like one keystroke and you're already on the mouse, so it's kind of easy. This works for most mouse arrangements, and if you're on a Mac, you can hold the Option key and it also works. And I would say between using that one and using Control plus and minus, or Command plus and minus on a Mac, those are probably the two that I use the most often because they're just quick and easy. Remember, there's Control minus and plus. There's the F key to change screen sizes or go to full screen. There's of course the traditional Z for the zoom tool. Then you have these options up here, so you can do Scrubby Zoom, where you click and slide back and forth. You can go fill screen, and you can hold down the H key and click to go temporary full screen. So that's 7 different ways to zoom. I hope you learned something. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, click like. If you want to subscribe and see more videos, do that please. And I hope you'll check out my course in the description. There's a link for you there. I love teaching, so I'd love to see more of you and teach you more Photoshop.